Riders ready, watch the gate.
All right, let's start this thing up.
We're starting it up.
Hey! How about this one? Welcome back to the Dirty Knobs Podcast. I'm your host, Hollywood Mike Miranda, and my co-hosts are, as always, James JV Vicente and EC Eric Carter. On this episode, it's kind of a special. We have a kind of a two-banger. We have we're gonna have a guest in first that we want to talk to. We've talked about him in a couple of the episodes. Kind of our young hero and our young ambassador for Dirtyfest is Danny Waters. We call him Danny Red Mags. He's pretty much known as Danny Red Mags now, by the way.
Is he really?
Yeah, he is. And I seen him on Instagram. It says Danny Red Mags now.
I love it.
Pretty damn cool.
He earned that.
Yep.
That's how we used to give him back in the day, man.
It's right. You never know how you're going to get it. You never know how or what your nickname was going to be, but it had to come from somebody else, right?
Yeah.
Hey, Red Mags is not bad.
Any Red
Could have been worse.
Could be a lot worse.
That's right.
Wee-wo. Oh man, yeah. And then our guest tonight is none other than our friend Eddie Fiola, King of Skateparks.
Yeah,
gonna be good.
That's a big guest, dude.
Yeah. Big guest.
That's top shelf guy right there, bro.
Yeah.
Top shelf.
I can't wait to hear what JV is Wikipedia about his race career.
Oh God. Thank you.
Well, okay, so
some things never change, boys.
Oh, hold on.
Yeah.
That looks like a Caesar salad with like some type of pasta. Is that like
a? Yep.
Rigatoni. That's a rigatoni.
Some penne with some. It is rigatoni actually, with a little bit of meat sauce on there. Yeah,
wonderful.
We're doing it.
And the Race Inc. T-shirt.
That's right. For Art and the boys.
Yeah, there you go.
Give me the help, bro. They give me the help.
Yeah.
JV, what are you? You're not eating this late, are you?
No.
Are you drinking?
What shirt are you rocking?
I'm having a little glass of wine. A little Brian Johnson, Dirtyfest.
Oh yeah.
Oh, nice.
I love it. I tell you what, I love this shirt, man.
Brian does good work, man.
Feel like I'm outgrowing it, but
nice hat, by the way, JV.
Oh, I love this hat. Getting a little dirty though.
Yeah. You better put yours back on.
I know, dude.
Shaggy.
You know it's gonna start barking at me.
JV, I got the JV design.
The factory support.
Oh yes.
Got the JV design. Hey, listen, speaking of factory support, we could really use some volunteers. I know it's a long way away, but listen, we want to get you guys in your mind to volunteer for Dirtyfest. One of the many perks is you're gonna get, depending on how many shifts you work, how many days you work, you're gonna get one of these T-shirts. So you're gonna get a shirt for every day you work. Right, JV?
Yeah. And you can only get it there.
JV to make sure he's okay with that.
Mm-hmm.
He charges me for
it
these,
is now.
So yeah, we always love volunteers, always want help, need help. So to make Dirtyfest even bigger and better, dude, and some big things going on for Dirtyfest.
Yeah.
Wow.
Right.
Can't wait till we can announce.
Yep.
More of the stuff. Like that'll be good. Yeah.
Yeah. We're gonna do a special episode to let you guys know what's going on with Dirtyfest. But I'll just give you a teaser. Big stuff. Big stuff.
Yeah.
Big stuff happening. Anyway, hey, JV.
Yeah.
Want to tell you it's the first time we've had a recording since the New Jersey Hall of Fame. Yeah.
Hey,
had a blast. Had a blast, dude.
Mike showed up in Miranda fashion.
Had my best New Jersey gear on.
JV was first class, dude.
Oh, absolutely first class.
He was. He was the first class of the Hall of Fame, bro.
Yeah, first class. That's true. Right. That is true. It actually, and let me tell you, they did a great job. They did a great job with it the first year. I mean, they had a good turnout. Was almost how many people, Mike? Almost 100, was it?
Oh, I'd say, yeah. Well, no, for the dinner?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah. Over 150
for the
people.
dinner.
Over 150 people.
I heard it
Dinner.
went really. I heard it went really good, man.
It went really good. It went really
It was
good.
done nice. You guys had a good time.
Yeah. Eddie King.
Salami.
Eddie King came in to 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 support Farside,
Nice.
and that was awesome. Farside was a lot of fun. I never really got to know the guy,
Mm-hmm.
but dude was funny, really funny.
Dude, Judge
Rich.
Ciencio is always talking about that guy.
Well, that was the best. That was the best.
Oh, dude, all night long.
Yeah, that was the best. And then we did bring up the Terrible 11. There was Terrible 11 talk going
No
on,
way.
which is great. Oh yeah, yeah.
Of course. I wonder who instigated that.
Oh, dude, let me tell you, it just kept
Shepherd.
going.
Yeah. We were.
Justin Shepherd, I'm pretty sure was the one that was
Oh, it
poking the
was-
skunk at that one, dude. It was
It was
great.
fantastic.
Yeah, we had a great night. It was great to see all of our friends there, and especially great to pay tribute to JV. Well earned
Oh,
into the
thanks,
New Jersey
Mike.
BMX Hall of Fame, and dude, not just for what you did as a racer back then, but an announcer at Braddock too, and everything
Oh
else.
yeah.
But really,
Announce.
still influencing people through this podcast, so it's great.
Yeah.
Well, lucky to do it with you guys. I mean, we have a lot of fun doing it.
Yeah,
Hey,
no, it's no fun at all.
Shout out to Salami for that too, bro.
Yeah.
Big
Yeah.
shout out to Salami.
I mean,
Yep, he worked hard putting that thing together.
Pulled it off.
Him and
I bet-
John
Great.
Shackle.
especially from here, right? I mean, I know he was. I didn't know. I know the details of who he was working with, but like, he lives in California, man.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, imagine trying to organize Dirtyfest. I know it's a little bit bigger, but imagine trying to organize that from across the
Oh,
country.
wait a minute. Imagine trying to organize Dirtyfest from another state away. What is he saying, JV? Of the four of us, three of us live out
Well,
of state.
Come on.
Yeah, that's true. But
No.
that was a big endeavor. He put to he would it was him and John Shackle, but I mean I think Salami did a lot of the legwork and trying to get it going and keeping it going. So
And he had
Yeah.
some great volunteers that night too to help. So it
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
awesome. It was a great event.
yeah,
was
Doug
good.
Luden. I mean they had a good
Yeah.
it was good to see everybody.
Well, listen, our first special guest is
Mm.
waiting in the waiting room, and I'd love to bring him in.
He's
I know that
excited at that, huh?
Yeah, I know that EC has got to be psyched because he made such a big deal about him too.
Dude, I love him, kid. He was hauling ass.
Yeah. All right, let's get this kid going.
Look at his name.
Oh, his
Dude,
name's
he has
even.
it on there.
Yeah, there you go.
Yes, sir.
Let's see your shirt, man. Look at him.
Yeah.
Yes.
Dude, we're
I
gonna
love
scratch
it.
up support your factory team. Your
Right.
factory
Thank
team.
you. Thank you.
Put some tape over that. Old school.
Dude, he's
Oh
doing it, bro.
yeah. Well, JV, tell him, JV.
I don't have a tell him.
Tell him what you know. Or ask him. Hey, Danny
Yeah.
Waters?
Give us a little bit. Give us a little bit about how this works. Why don't you give us your bio?
My name's Danny Waters, Danny Red Mags, you guys call me. I'm 15. I race 15 expert for regular racing. I'm World 6. I'm NAG 4 and NAG 1 in cruiser. And I'm national number 2 in cruiser.
Whoa, man.
Legit.
Yeah, that's legit. That's legit. And on
So
the
you-
vintage circuit, did you get a national plate on the vintage circuit?
Nah,
Not yet.
Well,
Not
Yeah, see?
I
dude,
did. I raced it at Grand Prix though for the national.
oh, we're gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about that. Kind of set the world on fire when you did that. And man, you've got some king size press from that. But,
Yeah.
dude, I gotta tell you, you might be NAG 4 in USA BMX, but you're NAG number 1 at Dirtyfest.
Thank you.
Dude, you are such a hero. We were all, I'm sure we were all been cheering you on. And
Yeah.
you're like our modern day hero now.
Danny, well, I mean, you showed up. We didn't really know who you were when you showed up, but you made a big impression on all the riders that were there watching, and you were just really fast, man. But you weren't just fast. You were smooth, and you were calculated, and you were making clean passes, and you were riding smart, and so you were kind of like a throwback to what our event is, right? Which is the way modern racing and old school racing is a little bit different in the way passing happens and stuff like that. But you seem to adapt really, really quick, and you were in the mix, man. Minus a bad gate in your main, I think you would have been top 2 at least. So if not taking the win. So we were impressed, and we didn't know your name, and so we just started calling you Danny Redmags.
Dude, and you don't know that because you're racing down the hill, but while you're racing, everybody up at the top, everybody at the starting gate is yelling, "Go Danny Redmags!" Dude, that name has stuck.
And when you were on the gate, everybody perked up. Everybody kind of was like, "Oh, there's that kid again. Watch this kid. You got to watch this kid." It was so all of that on a dyno VFR, man.
Yeah.
Yep.
Super impressive, dude. So
thank you.
We wanted to give you a shout out. We love having you at the event, and it's I think it's kind of the first time that we've had like a really fast, legitimate national high level rider like yourself come out, but not just come out, but you had a blast, right? And so for us,
I loved it. I loved Dirtyfest.
So we could tell by the way you were riding, and you were laughing and smiling at the finish line and stuff, just having a good old time. And that for us is priceless, right? Because basically we're just a bunch of old guys that are kind of age out of being able to race, man, and we want to see new kids enjoy old school BMX. And you're the perfect example of how much fun you can have if you just open yourself to coming on out to Dirtyfest and having a good time.
Yeah.
Dude,
Danny, how did it happen? How did you end up, getting to Dirtyfest and like knowing about it? I'm interested in, and then getting the vintage bike, and like, how did it all happen?
So, my girlfriend Maddie Braden, her dad Billy like told my parents about it, and then so for Dirtyfest 1 we headed up there, and then like for like the what's it called, the like the showcase area, and we built like a GT dyno and like got all the parts from there, and then I started racing.
Dude, he bought his parts from the swap meet at Dirtyfest.
At the first one.
The first one.
And then you races. No way.
That's even better.
And he's got Skyway Tough Wheels on there on a dyno VFR. Now, Danny, you don't know this, but when your bike was made, I used to work for the company, and I was thinking, dude, he's got $200 mags on a $179 bike.
I know, right?
Dude, he's hauling ass. That bike does not know it's not supposed to go that fast.
Exactly.
It worked.
I know, it's crazy.
It worked.
Story, huh?
Oh, it worked, man. You had that thing. Not only working at Dirtyfest. Oh, I'll get to that. You were hauling ass at Dirtyfest, and the way you did it, you rode with the old school style, putting your foot out in the turns. We were just all cracking up, and we're all cheering you on. And when I mean all of us, I mean all the old dudes, all of us up at the top. We're just cheering you on, man.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Did you do you know a lot of the kind of the old school pros, and had you heard their names before? I mean, you're a young kid, but
I've heard like a few of them, like Harry Larry, like rest in peace.
Yeah.
I've heard Harry Larry. I've heard I heard about Dale Holmes, Richie Anderson, but that's really about it. I didn't really know anybody.
Yeah. You did get to meet a lot of guys though.
Yeah, I got to meet like them.
You got to meet a lot of guys at the finish line when they caught up to you.
Pretty much.
So good. Dude, I love calling Dale Holmes old school.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Well, it makes sense. The ones that he knows, those are the guys that are still
Yeah.
connected and involved with modern day BMX, if you want to call it that.
Yeah.
Well,
Do
let me
you?
tell you, one
Yeah,
thing
go
I
ahead, man.
thought was super, super cool was that they just had the nationals in Southern California here. And dude, let me back up. I heard and saw and heard people cheering that not long after Dirtyfest at the next national in Southern California, you did something spectacular, and that you raced that same dyno in the open class at a regular national.
Yeah.
Oh man.
What happened there, man? What made you do that?
So I brought it to Paris, and my dad was like, "You should race it for open just for like the one day." I was like, "I'm down," and so I just raced it, and I had like a blast on it because I've never really ridden it on like an actual track like that.
Dude, and you smoked him.
Yeah.
Did you? Oh
Yeah.
man.
Had it nationally, raced the open class, and smoked him on Danny Red Mags.
I love it.
Dude. And then fast forward, there's the national that was just here in Southern California. And you're driving down the 10 freeway and you're wanting to see what's going on. And there's a gigantic billboard, lit up billboard on the 10 freeway. And it shows, upcoming race. And wow, big giant picture of Danny Red Mags with his mags on
No way.
on the 10 freeway in Los
Holy,
Angeles.
how
Really?
great
Oh,
is that?
great. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a real thing.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was a real thing. Yeah,
Wow.
man. And then USA BMX used his photo in the press release and all social for the race. It's great, man.
Yeah.
That's cool, man.
That is awesome. Jeez.
Well,
Do-
you're by far our favorite young guy racing, and
Thank you.
we're really hoping that people will catch on like you do and
Uh-huh.
come have a good time like you did.
Yeah.
What was your favorite part about Dirtyfest?
Probably like the riding style and like the jumps and stuff. Cause it's not really a bunch of jumps. It's like how fast you can go. So I'm like flying through the.
Oh, you were flying through all right. Well, and that cool track is because of the long-haired guy right here
Yeah.
on the screen. He's the guy that built it all. It's all his design. He does the whole thing, and
You're gonna
it's
have
awesome.
a blast. You're gonna have a blast this year, Danny. We're making some changes that are gonna be even more fun, dude. You're gonna really be stoked when you show up and see what we got cooking. So,
All right.
And this year we'll have the party on Saturday night, and we'll have the 16-inch pit bike derby.
yeah,
So you're gonna have a good time with that too.
yeah, you'll
All
love
right.
all of it. Hey, Danny,
Yeah.
I got a couple questions for you.
Huh.
One, do you obviously you went this last year was your first time racing Dirtyfest, getting to experience what it's like, track, bumping elbows with some of the old guys.
Uh-huh.
Clearly you had a good time. Have you recruited any of your friends that are national level riders? Have you gone basically back and said, guys, you got to try this, man? And if so, who can we expect, man?
So one of the kids on my team, he's NAG 3. His name is Chase Eckel. He's gonna come next year when we do it.
Nice.
And then
Yeah.
one of my buddies from Apple Valley, Kason Sutman, he's gonna come.
Very
See?
cool. Did they get the old school bike? Did you tell them how to set it up?
Yeah.
He told him,
Don't give him all your secrets, man.
Yeah.
no,
Go to the
what he
swap
told him-
meet.
what he told him, JV, is get there early on Saturday and you can have a bike by the end of practice.
Yep.
Hey, we're gonna have to get you and one of your buddies on the side hack.
Yeah. That would be pretty fun.
Yeah.
Hey,
Well, one of the
second
things
question
that
I
we-
got is off Dirtyfest, man. But you're like a couple weeks out, man, from the big show, dude. How's your Grants prep going, and where are you looking at in points?
I'm going pretty good. For right now, I'm sitting NAG 3 in class, NAG 1 in cruiser, and national number 1 in cruiser.
Dude, you're sitting number 1 overall.
Wow.
So I
And are you?
hope to get the national number 1 cruiser title.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's fantastic, man.
Yeah, it is. Wow.
Well,
You've
let
been
me tell
training
you,
hard, dude. You've been getting ready.
Yep.
I like it.
We're all going to be cheering for you and watching you, man, over the weekend. We're all going to be watching you and cheering you.
All right, thank you.
Yeah,
Smoke
good
those
luck,
fools.
brother.
Smoke those fools, man.
Hey, we're going to introduce you to a guy at Dirtyfest. If you haven't met him already, when he comes, we're going to introduce you to Eddie King, because after
All
you
right.
have your cruiser national #1, I want you to go over there and slap him and tell him cruiser counts.
That's right.
Danny, before we let you go, I just want to tell you one more time, you're a hero to us. We love that you're so involved and that you get it, and that you are really are your factory team, man. Your factory Dirtyfest.
All right. Thank
All
you.
right. Hey, kiddo, good luck in Oklahoma, man. Like Hollywood said, we'll be cheering you on, dude, and we'll be watching for you and bring that title home, dude.
All right, thank you.
Yeah,
Okay,
brother. Good luck.
I wanna say thank you to my sponsors, Factory Answer, Escort Bicycles, John Sawyer and Blake Sawyer, Apple Valley BMX Moto Park, and Running Gears.
I love it.
And
Yeah,
and the
there you go.
Dirtyfest swap meet.
Yeah, Dirtyfest swap meet.
Smart kid,
And the
bro.
group of guys that helped me put together my first old school bike.
And
Smart
the
kid, man.
WD-40 cans. And,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
like
buddy.
it, picking the people that are supporting you, brother.
Yeah.
Well done, well done.
Yep. Good man. Good man. All right, buddy. We'll talk to you soon.
All right, talk
Thanks,
to you soon.
Danny.
You're welcome. Bye.
Yeah.
What an awesome guy. What an
Yeah.
awesome kid.
Dude.
Right?
Danny Red Mags.
How
Good
about
guy.
this? How about his little bit at the end there? And
Yeah.
I wake up in the morning and I piss excellence.
Dude. I'm stoked for him, man. I hope he wins the damn title, dude. That'd be sick.
I'm telling you, man, watching the Grands now watching the Grands got even more exciting.
Now you're invested.
Dude, I'm invested.
Me
Oh,
too.
I already have some local kids from my track that I watch and cheer for.
Yeah.
But now I got another. Oh, I forgot to tell him, hey, don't take the dyno to the Grands. Dude, there's like 40 or 50 bikes stolen every year. Don't take the dyno to the Grands.
Oh man.
All right. Hey,
You know, it's just before you we go to Eddie. It's interesting because he's 15, and we talked about it before, but like the younger generation has no idea about like history of BMX.
No.
Like people, or it's quite different than any other, like sport.
Yeah.
That
He doesn't know Richie Anderson. He knows Danica's dad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He doesn't know world champion Dale Holmes. He knows that guy that puts the clinics on.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. I wonder,
And
that's
Harry
something we
Larry,
should...
and the guy that died, Harry Larry.
Right. It's something we should think about,
I think we should make him take a history quiz.
No, but I think I wonder if there is something to almost like an almost like a history of BMX,
We have to
thing that we produce and we're part of.
we have to lock. You know what we got to do, JB? It's a mandatory for any of the kids that are under 18. They have to do a lap through Rob Lane's trailer.
They should.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Look at the book.
And have a quiz.
Yeah. Yeah. Look
There's
at the
a lot of
book
history
here.
in that trailer, dude.
And if
history.
they're under 8, we'll give them a coloring book.
Look,
scratch and sniff with
It is
EC's
crazy
dinner.
though, isn't it, JB? Like it really is, man.
it really is crazy, and we, as much as we love what our sport, we need to we should do something about at least trying to educate the newer school.
It's a great idea.
Just to know, what this is all about, and maybe more will come out to Dirtyfest to see it.
Any of you guys out there that are listening to this or watching this, let us know if you have any ideas of what we should do.
Yeah.
Right? Just write in the comments. Tell us what you think. If you got an idea what we should do. Besides my scratch and sniff coloring book. Something else.
I don't think we'd be the only ones that are like interested in trying to do that. I think there would be a bunch of people that would be interested in.
I'm gonna whiz.
I shouldn't even cut this out. I just leave it play. So his mom knows that he just gets up in the middle and whizzes and says, I got to whiz.
Gotta go, you gotta go.
Hey, that happens when I guess right after you eat and drink, you have to go to the bathroom.
I wake up
Wait
in the
till we
morning and I
tell-
piss excellence.
Wake up in the morning and I piss excellence.
He is just like Ricky Bobby.
He's Ricky Bobby on the mic. Oh man. I hope everyone gets where that came from. It's one of my favorite things. I've always wanted to do it. Oh my gosh.
Yes. Had to
Oh,
whiz,
look at
bro.
him. That was
Oh,
quick.
I know. I didn't even get a chance to whiz when I got home, man, from work.
Oh, I was gonna say, wow, you didn't even wipe.
No, yeah.
Push it, pinch it, and move on.
I didn't take the train to Dusseldorf.
Yep.
no, no.
All right, here we go.
What do we got? Oh man,
Oh, he's been waiting too.
look at that.
He's KOS.
He is KOS. I was just gonna say that. Got the KOS rolling on, bro.
On inch and 3/8.
That's right. On inch and 3/8 with the Mohawk, Mohawk stickers on his Belmoto 3.
Dude, I should have put some stickers on my headphones up here.
I know. He's gonna come on. He's gonna be moonwalking.
Yeah,
Walk that sucker.
love that.
Look at this guy,
Oh.
dude.
Hey.
There
Oh
you go.
no, that's terrible.
So good.
Terrible. We
All
were
right,
just
can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you. Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, our special guest. Tell him, JV.
Oh, come on.
Give him his racing stats.
That's right.
It'd be a quick racing stat discussion, but let's see, Eddie, let's see if we got it. I mean, of course, the Wikipedia people help us a lot here, which is you and your people. But I got here, I couldn't get exactly when you started on a bike. Around 1980, late 70s.
Late
that about right?
70s. Yeah, late 70s. I mean, I rode bikes prior to that, but I mean, magazine wise, my first get in was like early 80s.
Okay. I got a first sponsor, Premier Helmets. Stop at any point here. You can jump in if I've got it wrong. Around 1982, you hooked up with Haro, but you left shortly to go to Kuwahara and design and promote the ET bike.
Yes.
You didn't know that.
I didn't know
Mike?
that.
Okay.
I did not know that.
I didn't
Learn
know
new
that.
things here. 1983, signed with GT, and you designed the GT Performer.
Yeah, it was myself and Bob Morales.
All right. Okay. In 1984, you won the GT Summer Freestyle Competition. You went to the UK to compete in a televised Kellogg's Freestyle Competition, which you won. And the commentator over there gave you the name the Flying Banana, but also known as King Skateparks. In 1985, freestyle is booming at this time, by the way. You travel to 15 different countries, appear in Freestyle's Raddest Tricks video, and you win the Nora Cup.
Wow.
Yeah,
That was in 85. In 80,
that was in two different magazines. I won their Freestyle or Nora Cup.
okay. In 1986, the movie Rad, another video, another championship, another Nora Cup. He's won a total of 4 freestyle Nora Cups. 4, right, Eddie?
Yes.
Damn. 1988. 1988, you started testing bikes for BMX Plus again. Before GT, you were apparently, it says you were testing bikes also, but you had to stop doing that because GT didn't want their riders to test bikes and be on the team.
Right.
So you did go back to that. You rode for Vans in 1990, 2004, Redline, 2005. You were in the film Joe Kidd on the Stingray. History of BMX. 2009, inducted to the Hall of Fame. Somewhere in there, in between, sponsored by Botima, Torker, SE, Faction Bikes, 22-inch. You have 35 movie credits for stunt work, 2 for acting, 3 for self. And I have a quiz here for Mike and EC. What movie was Eddie not credited for? The Hangover, Dukes of Hazzard, The Italian Job, From Dusk Till Dawn 2, Rad, The Cat in the Hat, or Contraband?
Dude, could you just narrow it down to 3 for us?
Nope.
God dang. I know he was Italian Job. I know that one. So
Okay.
it wasn't that.
I'm just gonna guess Dukes of Hazzard.
I'm gonna say Cat in the Hat.
He's in all of them. He got credited for all of them.
JV and his stupid trick questions.
I know, trick
It
question.
gets me every time too.
Well, yeah, it was weird because I was going, wait, I think I'm in all of those, but there is one he didn't mention, and it's where I do most of a BMX freestyle tricks on a mountain bike, and it's Clock Stoppers, the movie Clock
Oh.
Stoppers, where the guy can stop time, and I didn't get credited on that, but I do all the stunt work in it.
Oh, dude, awesome.
Awesome. I mean, when I was looking at it and going through it, I mean, there was so much, just trying to condense it down. But then you get
and then you don't even know about all the commercials I've worked on. I mean, like I've done 501 Levi's, Foot Locker, Mountain Dew, Del Monte, Mellow Yellow. I've done a couple 501 commercials, and then just countless. I did a smoking commercial for guy that was weird. Is that we actually had to climb this pinnacle in Utah at the Devil's Peak or something like that, and we had to get to the top of this thing, and then when we got to the top, we start smoking a cigarette. It's like I don't smoke. And they go, well, we're gonna have the helicopter fly around you guys, so take a couple puffs and talk like you're just hanging out. It's like I'm gonna get lightheaded and fall off of this thing.
Dude, that copter's gonna get a shot of me throwing up. Yeah, dang. Well, man, I have so many questions. I don't even know where to begin. But the first one I want to ask, which is completely out of nowhere, is I've seen you ride. I've seen you ride on concrete. I saw you ride everywhere except for, and I don't know that you have. Did you ever? I saw you ride on dirt, but have you ever raced ever?
Oh, yeah.
I did race. It was a beginner. I did race at Ascot, and I also raced at Orange. I think I did do some practice runs under the freeway in Lomita. Where is that? That the
Harbor Park. Yep.
Harbor BMX. But I moved up into the expert class, and these guys were all over the place. I mean, like they were rubbing elbows and pushing and shoving. It's like that's not, the beginner class. They didn't do that. Yeah, everybody took their time and got around everybody, and so when I got into the expert class and everybody started bumping and grinding and pushing and getting their way in, I started lagging off and started dropping back and going, you know what? I'll just do a 360 over the doubles.
That's right. That's exactly what it was, dude. I remember that vividly. The Camelback, dude. After the third turn.
Yep. You could tell that I was going to do it because as I come around the corner, I'd look back to see if anybody's behind me.
Yeah. So good, man.
That is awesome.
And everybody knew, man. So it was like, oh, and he's gonna race. Get to the fence. Get to the fence. You gotta watch him.
Dude, well, there's no doubt you'd be fast. I mean, because you could make your freestyle bike go so much faster than anyone else riding on concrete. When I saw you ride Skateparks, we would go to, I'd see you at Big O, and I used to always see you in Upland.
Yep.
Because there was a BMX track right next to it.
Yeah.
And I would always go over and watch you ride. I mean, there's two people I love to watch ride on skate parks, and that's you and Brian Blyther.
Yeah,
And you
very
guys,
cool.
and whenever I went, it seems like every time I went to the track to practice there, you were there riding. Sort of like Menifee now. When I go to the pump track at Menifee, every time I go there, he's there.
That's right.
Yeah. So what's funny about what you just said is that there's a BMX track at Pipeline, and when I got inducted into the BMX Hall of Fame, I got inducted the same time that Jeremy McGrath got inducted. So while I was getting my my plaque, Jack McGrath came up to me and said, "You know what? Every time we would go race, and I'd bring my son over to Pipeline, and he wasn't on the gate. It's like, where is my son? Where is my? He's hanging on the fence, watching you ride." And I
was
said,
me.
yeah, and I'm going, that's funny because I'm now hanging on the fence watching Jeremy ride. So
Eddie, I swear that was me. I was like McGrath, like everyone else. When you guys were riding, I was holding onto the fence watching you, and jaw dropping, mouth open, going, "Oh my gosh!" And again, I could not believe the speed and how smooth you were.
Smooth, man.
You and Brian both, more than anyone else. Man.
Yeah. That was the thing about, like you said, Mike, about him and Brian. They were so smooth, and like the sound when they would land was almost non-existent. Like when they would come back in, it was pretty wild.
The screaming freewheel. That's it.
Yeah. Well, so that's the difference between Brian and I noticed this is that when Brian rides, when he'd go up and do an air, he would never hit his brakes. So all you would hear would be this freewheel in the air, and as he comes down. But when I rode, you would hear the freewheel until I got into the air, and I'd tap my back brakes. And what was weird is that I didn't know about gyros and how it worked or whatever, but if I stopped my back wheel, my back end would come around a lot smoother and easier, and I'd slide right in. But yeah, that would be the difference between Brian and I could never not hit my brakes when I'm in the air.
Wow, different techniques.
Yeah.
Eddie Fiola, the BMX racer. So good.
It's pretty
good.
It's pretty wild, Eddie, that you were able to ride. I mean, obviously you were it's a testament to how smooth you were in your riding, but man, you rode on 1 3/8 in the
I had to ask.
Right.
One of my many questions is 1 3/8. What? Why? What? Where?
Why? What? Where? And so the first part was that I was also sponsored by Skyway, and when we rode the Skyway rims, we could only put like 45 psi in the tires. Sometimes they'd pop off the rim. They would always flex. And it got to a point where Brian and Michael were going higher and faster and smoother. And and Pipeline is out in the middle of, next to the mountains, and it's 100 degrees outside. The Skyway Tough Wheels would flex, and they would absorb all the pump and everything. So it's I wanted to win. I did whatever it took to win. So I covered my rim. I bought some alloys. I covered those in wheel disc covers. Actually, I made them. Yeah. I stuck Skyway stickers all around the outside so I wouldn't lose my sponsor. I competed. I won, and I lost my sponsor because they could see that there was alloys around the outside. And I saw this disc cover from the Speedway guys, the Speedway, because they wouldn't have number plates. They'd have all their sponsors all over the wheels. And so after I lost the sponsor of, Skyway, I still kept those disc covers and got rid of the number plates and started putting sponsorships all over the discs until a good windy day at Pipeline, and those things came right off. So that being said, 1 3/8, the skinny wheel snake belly tire, you could almost stick 65, 70 PSI in those tires.
Yeah.
And that just made it so much faster and so much smoother. And I didn't land hard. I tried to land smooth. So having those rims really didn't make a big difference to me about not making it or how delicate they are. As long as you're landing straight, you're good to go.
Yeah. Hugo wasn't running his 3/8.
No, he wasn't. No, but he had some stuff. He thought outside the box. He was doing things that I don't think I would have done.
Yeah.
Hugo Gonzalez, man, what a radical rider.
Yeah.
Eddie, in terms of like, we talk a lot of rivalries and, just, we'll always ask somebody, was there ever somebody you didn't get along with, or, on the track, you're bumping, and was there something like that in freestyle too? Like, was there like a
years later, I mean, like 30, 40 years later, I mean, I never had any problems with anybody. Every time I went to a competition, I thought the competition was more like a big family reunion, and we get to hang out with everybody else that gets to ride, and we just get to watch each other's style. So I just had fun at these competitions, and going to like the velodrome. It would be funny is that I would go to these competitions, and we would ride in the circle, and we would have fun, and these guys would just rip double decades, all these things that I couldn't do. But what was weird is that as soon as the competition started, a switch went off, and some of these other guys, like, they couldn't ride. They're putting their foot down all the time. They're falling. They're this. They're that. Where as soon as I started the competition, it's like, hey, it's entertainment time. We're having fun, and that's how I ran my run. It's like I didn't think of it as a competition. I thought of it more of as an entertainment. I'm going to go out. I'm going to entertain everybody. If I make a mistake, I'm not going to go throw my bike and make a big deal about it. I'm going to kind of roll around it and make it look like it's part of the act. So,
Hey,
you know what,
I gotta say two things right there. Number one, what you said, you were just there having fun. You didn't have that. Well, it's because you were one of the best. It's different. You may not have a rivalry, but I'm sure there's a lot of guys that considered you a rival.
yeah.
And number two is when you hear you say, like, listen, your attitude was to go out and have fun and to put on a show. And putting on a show at your level is the highest level of competition. If you do a perfect run, which to you was the best show, that was winning the competition.
Yeah.
It totally translates to BMX racing for sure.
What I was going to say, Mike, kind of adds on to that a little bit, but when and to what Eddie was saying about putting on a show, you can find old school clips of your actual competition runs, and they're on YouTube. My son, he searches through old YouTube stuff all the time, and he's always calling me, Dad, check this out. So we've seen a number of your old competition runs, and they're different. They are different than the other competitors. You can actually see in your charisma and your body language and everything that's associated with your run that your focus was about entertaining the crowd and bringing the crowd into your show versus just mechanically doing the tricks. It's so evident on your runs.
Yeah. So I mean, like, when I watch these competitions, I can clearly see that these guys are better than I am trick wise, that they're doing more difficult tricks. They're doing it's easier for them or whatever, but they don't have the style, and I'm not the one judging. So it's the judges. And what are you going to remember? Are you going to remember somebody's robotic, thing that they did pull off? You're going to remember, Elvis Presley, so that's, you throw a little bit of Elvis in there, and that's, you're just going to remember it.
Yeah. Even your song choice and your, the choreography, along with what you did when you did it in relation to the music, it just played to your entertainment part, your
Right.
entertainment focus. It was, it was, and it's entertaining to this day. It's still like you watch it, you go, oh, dude,
I was just gonna say, damn
Yeah.
it, to this day, you're still the most entertaining rider.
yeah.
God, you steal the show every time. Yeah, I love it. I love it. I mean, I've had the pleasure of going to a few events with Eddie now, and it is amazing the way you connect with people, to connect with the crowd. Now, I'm not talking about Dirtyfest. I'm talking about when we do these other ones. He, you know what, steals the show with your charisma, your showmanship, and the way you interact with the crowd is
Yeah.
amazing, man. It's great,
Totally.
great to watch.
Well, when we go to these things, when we go to these special occasion gatherings, what's cool is that everybody there is thinking the exact same thing we're thinking. They love their bikes. They love riding their bikes. They love everything about their bikes. They love the movie Rad. They you know, clean their bikes. They eat, sleep, shit, BMX, and that's what I do. And if I can talk hours about riding my bike or cleaning my bike, or if somebody asks, you know, hey, what kind of brake pads are you using? Well, back in the day, we used Cool Stops, and we had to put Coke on the rims so that it would be sticky, or 7-Up, or Mountain Dew, anything. And now, you know, we have 990 brakes, and we've got clear brake pads, and I'm running Skyway Tough Wheels again, and they actually work, and they actually stop. But, you know, like I can go on for hours to somebody who's asking questions about that. It's not like, you know, I'm some actor that doesn't know anything about bikes. You know, I'm not acting. This is me. This is all. And you know about it.
Hey, that was not lost. That was not lost, Eddie.
Well,
That's
okay,
fantastic,
now I'm going to talk about Dirtyfest.
Good.
This last year was the first time we added something on our Friday night, which was to have an old school freestyle jam and have a kick ramp. And the idea was to, again, dude, you know, I have so many friends that are freestylers, and I've been such a fan of that part of the sport for so long that I just got to include it, man. Plus, when you guys ride, I'm still the guy that hangs onto the fence and watches. I was like, wow,
Same.
I love
Same
it.
here.
Yeah. You know, and to have you guys be part of it was so great. And big shout out to Xavier, and to Brian Blyther and Mike Dominguez and
Southern
for you guys to
California to not have some freestyle there, and it's a big, huge bicycle event. I think that was the best thing you guys could have done. Not the best thing, but I mean, it was a great additive to Dirtyfest.
It was the best additive to Dirtyfest, by far, in my opinion. And then to have legends, the legends, come out and ride and do a show. Dave Norrie, it was phenomenal, man. What a great show! What a treat for everyone. And then comes adding the kick ramp.
Hey, my first run was flawless.
Well, before we get to that, you know, Eddie does certain tricks that plays to the crowd, and you know, it is a showstopper, and it gets the biggest uproar from the crowd. It was great, love it. And then they start doing the kick ramp, and some guys are, you know, doing a little bit more than others. And then Eddie goes and does a big, again, has to one up everybody and do a big show. Comes around and tell us what happened.
So when the first time I came out, I did a big kick turn. Everything was happy-go-lucky. Everything turned out fine. The second round, and Dave Norrie had everybody going in line, and somebody went before I did. Anyhow, when I went up for my second run, I came up to the ramp. Now, I'm going to backtrack just a tad. Is that lately I've been riding my dirt jumper, my 26-inch dirt jumper at the pump track.
So which I see him every time I go there. I'll attest to that. Every time I go there, he's there riding it.
So I'm used to the bigger rims. So when I do flatland, I use my 20-inch bike and I start doing flatland. But so when I came to this ramp and I did a big kick turn, I over rotated and I wasn't coming down on the 180. It was more of a 270. And the front wheel dropped, and in my head, I'm thinking 26-inch tire. I
Mm.
could just roll out of this.
I got
keep
this.
in
I'll
my
save it. I got it. I got it. I'll
I
save
got
it.
this. Yeah, no problem. But no, the front wheel hit. The hands are on the handlebars. The wheel goes backwards towards me. I go over the bars, full TW, and my face hits the ground, and I get to my nose, and I think I just scuffed the nose right before I hit my eyebrow, and lights went out for like a split second, and I knew I'm going okay.
I was maybe 10 feet away from him on the mic, and he went up to and I was silent, and all I heard was this.
Yeah,
Dude, it sounded like someone dropping a bowling ball from 5 feet off the ground onto concrete. Hit
right.
so hard, and the entire crowd was silent.
Yeah.
You know, a couple hundred people. You know, 200-300 people silent, and then everybody rushed in to help. Oh my God! We gotta
Right.
save.
So everybody turns into a nurse at this time or a doctor, and everybody's first aid kit comes out, and I think that they must have used like 4 wraps of bandages around my head, and it's like I don't need that. That's fine. I'm good. But I did okay. Just so they just kept going, and it was fine.
He was
Eventually,
fine. Let me tell you how
yeah.
fine he was. I knew he had racked his noggin.
Yeah.
But at about 5:45 in the morning, about 5:45 in the morning, I open the gates. I go into the vendor village. I start to, situate a few things. Very first person I see come up through vendor village was Eddie to do the same thing, get his booth all sorted out. Being the master professional that he is, had to be top notch.
Yeah. I made out of some band-aids, I made some butterfly stitches. So I was able to cut it. My wife is a PA over at, Kaiser, and I know all this stuff. We have staples here at the house that I could click in if I wanted to, but I didn't want to come home. And I made some steri strips and put my hat on and went back to work that day.
Dude, you're a stuntman when you have staples at your house.
That's what I
Yeah.
was gonna say, man. That's stuntman shit.
That is some stuntman shit right there.
I
It
have
was
them
pretty
in
gnarly.
my front bag.
Oh God.
It was a pretty gnarly cut you had there too.
Yeah,
It was the talk of the town the next
Yeah.
day. Man, it was the talk of the town. Everyone was talking about it.
Yeah.
We were all so very, very happy to see you the next day. No one more than me. I was just ecstatic that you were up and shocked that you were up and around that early. And dude, you seemed like you weren't even phased.
Yeah.
Well, hey, I tell everyone that had asked me about this, I'm going, if this would have happened on set, they would have padded up the blood, they would have put some makeup on it, and I would have did it again and did it right the next time. So I got to get the shot done. So it's the stuntman mentality that, hey, get the shot and let's keep going. So
Well, it's like my dad used to say, "Mijo, you can't be a pro and a pussy."
No doubt.
Dude, you were definitely a pro. Definitely a pro. Yeah. Well, listen again. Having you there at Dirtyfest was amazing. You really stole it before you crashed. You stole the show, and then that ended the show, and everyone was talking about it. What a couple things I want to know is, hey, are you coming back?
I'm coming back 100%. I got to redeem myself.
Right.
Got to redeem myself.
Of course he is.
Of course he is, dude. People don't know that. We get compliments about our awards that we give out at Dirtyfest. They're uniquely designed for our event, and they're spectacular. I got one. There's one behind me.
Do you have one back there?
Yeah, I have one. On top, it sits on top.
Oh
of the
yeah,
North
I see
Cup.
it.
Yeah.
I see
On
it.
top of the North Cup, right there.
Yeah.
They were so cool that I stole. I have one. Yeah, they're so cool. I have one. Anyway, what people don't know is that that's Eddie's company.
It's part of my company.
Part of your company.
It's a group effort, and Rad Designs 1986. They do all my merch, and I just think it's, they came to me and asked if they could do my merch, and I'm going, okay, that would be great, because I don't want to be the guy standing there in a booth and selling you my shirt that says, Fiola and Apparillo, and then taking your money. I just want to talk to you. I just, hey, they asked me, how much is your shirt? I don't know. Ask Mindy or ask Kid. They're selling this stuff. I'm here to talk to you and talk about BMX all day long. So it's good to have those guys, and they've helped me 1,000%. And Mindy at Rad Designs, she is the artist that comes up with all of these ideas of the trophies, and she's also, when I did my book, she came up with the cover layout on my book, and we're working on a new documentary of my life from the book. So the book was called When I Was King, and the documentary is going to be called Effortless, with the big EF, effortless.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty
Hey,
cool.
where can people buy that book now?
Right now, you can buy that book on Barnes and Nobles. You can go to any Amazon thing. If you're looking up books and you just put the When I Was King, you can find it almost anywhere. So,
And your merch, where do you get your merch at?
you can get all the merch at Rad Designs 1986.
Yep. Hey, Mindy
Yeah.
and Kid are awesome. We've had the blast. I've had a blast traveling with them. If you ever miss a flight, you want to miss it with Kid, man. It's had a great time. And like I said, Mindy has designed our awards, and we're so thankful to have you guys as partners with us in our event.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, it's awesome. Okay, I have a couple more questions. I have a GT question, and then I'll get to my last subject. My GT question is, hey, who did you negotiate your contracts with GT with? Was it directly with Rich or with Todd Huffman?
Oh, so I was writing and negotiating with GT prior to Todd even doing anything there. So wow. it was with Richard Long, and Richard was the businessman, right? So I didn't know anything about business. I didn't know what I was worth until the magazine started coming out, and I started figuring out, that a full page color ad is $3,000, and you can't buy covers, and you can get, photo contingencies and all these other things. So I talked to RL, who was the photo contingency guy from, the beginning, and the co-sponsors from everybody. So I talked to him a little bit, and when we talked, I mean, he, Richard tried to get as much as he could for the least amount that he could pay. But what was weird is that when GT only made, frame, fork, and handlebars back when we started, and I was getting X amount of dollars, and I was getting co-sponsorship by, Vans and Premier helmets and Bell sometimes, and Oakley goggles and all these things. And I had a good lump sum coming in. But when GT started making their pants, their shoes, their own helmet, their own tires, their own everything, Richard said, hey, look, we're paying you the most money out of all of them. So if you want to keep us as your main sponsor, you got to drop the other guys. Well, can you make up for the other guys? No. And that was Richard.
That was Richard.
Yeah. Oh, and then I did a deal with Richard going, hey, a lot of these skateboarder guys, Tony Hawk and Christian Asoy and all these guys, they're making some money on their decks. Can I get a signature model, and can I get some money out of that? And Richard said, sure. Let's say we'll do $1 for every performer sold. great. He gets up out of his chair, he does a handshake, and that was it. That was it. I started to get this extra lump sum every month on top of my normal salary. And then all of a sudden it stopped. It's like I went in going, "Hey, Rich, how come the extra isn't on there?" He says, "Oh, that handshake is only worth 6 months."
Oh man.
So for 6 months, I got a bonus, and then nothing after that. So
And then those performers took off
Man.
around
Yeah.
the world.
around the world, everywhere. To this day.
Yeah.
To this day, still selling them. Wow. Well, you're
Yeah.
associated with another brand now, from a mutual friend of ours.
Yes.
Sure.
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
So anyhow, Bill
Amazing.
Ryan is now also owns Torker, and one of the very first bikes that I ever rode was a Torker in the magazine. So Bill now made an Eddie Fiola Torker. They made a Mike Miranda Torker. They make an Eddie King Torker. Yeah, it's cool. They got some. He's coming up with some cool stuff.
Very, very cool stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, we love Bill. He's he gets it. He gets it. He's one of us. He gets it.
Yeah, and what it is, it's butts on bikes. It's putting kids on bicycles. It doesn't have to be a Bill Ryan bike. It doesn't have to be a Supercross. It's, as long as the kids start off on a bicycle and they start loving the sport, that's what gets them to want the better of the bikes, and that's what brings Bill back in. So as long as they start off on a bike and get them going, happy-go-lucky.
Hey, one thing we see happening now is because of things like Dirtyfest and what we're doing, we're seeing dads get back on bikes. And when dads get back on bikes, they get their kids on bikes. So it's working full circle, and we love it. And we love Bill's participation in the whole thing. He's a huge part of what we do because he gets it, man. He's just like one of us.
Right. Going to the pump track, sometimes I'll see the dad and he's standing there twiddling his thumbs and he's watching his kid ride, the little oval track or whatever. I'm going, well, where's your bike? How come you're not riding? He says, oh, I'm too old. And he's 45. I'm going, dude, I'm 60. Come on. You're not that old.
At my BMX track, Eddie, I have a whole bunch of cruiser demo bikes just for that. And my pitch is, hey man, get up in there in the gate with your kid and let me take a video of you or pictures of you so you guys can capture this family moment. And
you're learning.
Oh, dude, just a fish on the hook right there. Next thing you know, they're borrowing the demo bike for practice. The next thing you know, they're buying a 24-inch and they're racing it. And it's my biggest class at my track now. But the best thing is now they're doing it as a family. And I love it, man. That's great. Now it's getting them over to Dirtyfest. Oh, just so good. Speaking of family, you and I are family.
How are we family?
We're part of the Rad family.
You guys are.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Now, here's a question. How many stunt doubles were in the movie Rad?
I don't know. How many official or just stunt doubles? Let me think.
Double.
Huh. It's a great question. You, Martin, no, Travis.
Jose
was a stunt double.
Yanez.
Jose Yanez.
Yeah.
Right?
Pat Romano.
That's right.
And there's one other one. No. There's two other guys.
I know one.
Oh no, three other guys. There's three other guys. So there's Sheepdog.
That's right. Kevin Hull did. That's right.
Yeah. He was one of the twins.
That's right.
Then there was Beetle Rosecrans.
Wow.
So Beetle Rosecrans doubled Bart Connor when he went down the
That's
straight,
right. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Because not everybody.
Travis didn't want to do that. And also the the cliffhanger, right?
The cliffhanger. Yep. Not
Right.
everyone wanted to, not all the BMX racers were comfortable
Right.
doing that.
So there's one last guy. There's one last guy that a lot of people don't remember, and it's Millweed.
Danny Millweed.
Danny.
Danny Millweed. Now Danny was Crew Jones for one part of the movie, and the scene where they come around the wood berm and they go into the rhythm section, right? They go over this rhythm section and they jump side by side. Okay. Well, the problem with me back in the day is that I couldn't jump straight. I couldn't jump straight. I had to do a 360. I had to do a 360. I couldn't jump. I do a dead sailor every time I jump straight, and it was and I couldn't get it out of my head. I couldn't do it. So I asked Danny to take my place in this. So Danny is the unknown stuntman. He was the stuntman for the stuntman in that section of the movie.
There was one more, by the way.
One
more stunt double, and you reminded me of it. Like I said, not all the BMX pros, Travis included, were comfortable. Go ahead.
So one of the racers had another racer put on their clothes so that they would go down the hell track starting gate.
Yeah, the starting gate.
Yeah.
Now I'm not sure was that you doubling them?
I was Scott Clark.
Clark.
No,
I went down to Scott Clark once.
Yeah. So what's funny is that when we shot the movie, we didn't shoot all 5 races in sequence. We shot 5 starting gates, and
you never did a whole lap.
Never did not once. No. So we started the starting gate, the very first one. Everybody rolls in. Then we cut, and then we go over to the person. They said, okay, now you come in second, you come in third, and you come in first, and we do that run, and then we stop and we get reorganized, and now it's the 3rd lap, but this guy comes in 3rd, and this guy comes in 2nd, and this guy comes in 1st, and then after doing that 5 times, we go to the very first berm, and we do that there, and then we go to the next jump, and we do that there, and literally 5 times throughout the whole track. 2 weeks worth of filming.
Yeah.
And it was not in the exact order. It wasn't, we did the first straightaway, then the second. It kind of moved around a little bit the way I remember.
Yeah.
And it was like.
Whatever wasn't wet or muddy, whatever was accessible at the time, or what was closest to the camera that they didn't have to move it.
Well, that's the thing, right? Like, that's why you're doing those different segments, is because camera time setup is so critical. And then you guys were filming in Canada.
Right.
I don't know if everybody knows that was filmed in Canada.
Yeah, so we filmed in Canada, and not only that, but in Canada, they'd have these things like one day it's like 70, 80 degrees outside, and the next day it would be snow on the ground and just blizzard, and the track would be wet and all this other stuff. Another thing a lot of people don't realize is that there would be times that we couldn't ride the track, but Hal Needham, being the stuntman that he is and the people that he knows, he made a phone call and had a friend come over in his helicopter and hover over the track and air blow the track dry. And we started filming again. Yeah. So Hollywood.
There is so much backstory stuff from the movie that when I've had the pleasure of going and watching the movie with Eddie in front of people and do some narrating, and it is hilarious. It is absolutely it was so entertaining for me to do it with you, man. It was great. I've done it by myself. It's 10 times more entertaining to do it with Eddie.
Well, great. I hope we get to do some more of that, and as this thing comes up this next month, I think it's the December 1st, we're going
Eddie and I are
to.
doing it again in San Antonio, Texas, at Dark Side Brick Oven Pizza together. And
Yes.
it's a hoot. It's a hoot to do it with him.
Nice.
So you guys go, like, these guys bring you in, they show the movie, they sell the tickets, and you guys just sit up there and narrate and then do a Q&A.
Oh no, it's way more interactive than that. Yeah,
Yeah. Well, I mean,
it's a laugh a minute. It's a laugh a minute.
Well,
it's kind of like it's kind of like watching Mystery Theater 3000, right? Except for we're in front of you guys and we're talking about it, and we're actually in the movie and we know things that a lot of people don't know about the movie. So it's a different way of watching it.
It's hilarious.
Yeah.
It is hilarious. And
That's
I
awesome.
learn every time I've watched it probably before I did it with Eddie. I probably watched it 6 times in my entire life. And I watched it with him and now like, oh, I didn't know that. And it was and again, he reminded me that I had done Scott Clark's part. And I was like, oh yeah, that's right. And it was a neat experience for me. And I think the rather large crowd we had in the movie theater had a blast.
Yeah.
Hey Eddie,
Yeah.
you involved. I think you were heavily involved in the movie, but were you involved in production side of it as well? Or
Not
just
production, just the stunt aspect of it. They also had me as a technical advisor. Would they race like this? Would they do that? Well, like the movie in general would never have happened. It's somebody's idea. We're gonna combine racing and freestyle. Well, that just doesn't happen.
right?
It happens now in supercross or motocross because they got that, the freestyle motocross and racing, and you got to do tricks at the same time. But anyhow, they said, would you do this, and would you go there, and would you ride down this hill, and is this even possible about going down? And I'm just going, yeah, we could do most of the stuff you're asking, I guess.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah.
So you were about
When we all got there,
consultant.
and we saw Hell Track, when we saw the start in, there wasn't anyone that didn't say, "What the F?" But listen, the end product of that movie, who knew it would be such a cult following and how much it's impacted so many kids. I'm sure, Eddie, you get it 10 times more than I do, but a week doesn't go by in my life where somehow it comes up.
Oh yeah. Yeah. No, I get questions all the time.
Yeah.
About the movie, about some of the other movies I've worked on, and it's just weird that I don't think of myself being a superstar, a rock star, or a legend, or any of this stuff. I just rode a bike for a living and had fun doing it. But one day I was at IKEA returning some furniture we didn't need and I didn't want to put together. And as I'm returning it, I don't have a shirt on it that says Fiola or anything on it. It's just I don't know, probably said Pro Circuit or something like that. And I didn't have a hat on that had my name on it. But this guy comes up and goes, "You're Eddie Fiola." I go, and I'm looking, I'm going, well, there's nothing that tells him that I am. He says, I go, how do you know that it's me? I'm like, I'm 30 years older, I'm 60 years old. He says, you don't realize that when we were kids, we had magazines on our wall. That's all we looked at. Your face is embedded into my head, and I looked at your face every single day, and I wanted to do this trick, and I wanted to do this, and it's like, okay, I guess that makes a lot of sense. We were all on somebody's wall at one time.
Yeah, that's
pretty cool. Yeah.
JV, I was at I told Eddie the story already. I was at up in Petaluma, California at a business meeting, and that night I was at the hotel bar having a cocktail, and I'm talking to another guy next to me who also works in the bicycle industry, and we're talking about somehow just the letters BMX came up, and the bartender turns and he goes, "Oh, BMX! I loved BMX when I was a kid. BMX this, BMX that." my favorite was Eddie Fiola. And I was like, Eddie Fiola, really? And I said, well, hold on a second. I had just come from Dirtyfest, and Eddie had given me an Eddie Fiola hat, brand new, still had tags, cardboard. So I walked out to my truck, grabbed the hat, walked back in. I go, so you really like Eddie Fiola? Here you go, my man. And I gave him that. Dude, I
Oh, you
didn't pay
made
for.
his day.
Oh,
Yeah,
dude, he lost his mind. Lost his mind.
that is
That
cool.
was good. Yep. You know the best part of that, JV? Didn't pay for a drink the rest of the
Yeah, I
weekend.
was just gonna say, did he buy some
Oh,
drinks?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's good.
But anyway, it was it's always great to have famous friends, and you are a superstar and a legend, my man.
Dude.
You
Hey.
know, it's just something I think I was in the right place at the right time, doing the right thing with the right people.
Yep. No
Hey,
doubt.
let me, before we leave Rad, let me ask you something. Just curious, because the way you guys describe how you filmed it wasn't necessarily in order. It's kind of like scenes that are just happening. When you guys saw it for the first time, like complete, what did you guys think of it?
It's the worst movie ever.
Really? Is that what you thought? Like, what the hell did I just do?
Well, I mean, that's it's nothing we did. I mean, we didn't combine racing. We didn't hang out with the racers. We didn't do any of that stuff. So making a movie that we didn't do any of that stuff, it was just kind of weird. I mean, it was kind of cool that we were in it, but and the funny thing is that, you know, when I spent, you know, 8 weeks filming it, and I tell all my friends that, hey, let's go see this movie. It's going to be huge, and you know, it's going to be cool, and everyone's going to be there, and I'm going to be famous, and they're going to say my name, and I get it, and it's me and my 7 friends. That is it. There is no one else in the theater. It's just us. And so it's like, yeah, this is a movie, but 35 years later, when they re-release it, and it's in every theater now, right? And it's the first time they're going to re-show it in 35 years on the big screen, remastered, you know, digitally done, and surround sound and all this stuff. I ordered tickets for my family, and we're all going to go. Well, I had to do some stunt work that day, so I couldn't. I'm trying to get through. I'm driving in from LA. It starts at 6. I get there about 6:45, right as the race hell track starts. Right, I sneak in. When I get in, there's people on the stairwell because it was packed. People are in the corner, standing, eating popcorn, and they're all watching the movie Rad. And I couldn't get through, and every seat is prepaid, right? So I know that I have a seat. So I sneak in and I sit down, and they're naming, literally as I sit down, they start naming all the riders, and they name this guy, and they name Martin Aparicio, and they name this other guy, and they name this other guy, and then they literally say Eddie Fiola, and I shit you not. And then nobody knew that I was there, but the crowd went wild. I mean, they all hooted and hollered and yelled and screamed, and I'm going, redemption 35 years late. But
That's so cool, man.
So cool.
That's what it was supposed to be. You know, that was the feeling I wanted 35 years earlier, but I guess I got it eventually. But it was weird is that after the movie, everybody was walking out, and I walked out, and people started pointing, and they started looking, and they're whispering, and these guys, they start talking, and then these ladies come up to me, and they go, are you Eddie Fiola? You're the one in the movie, right? And I go, yeah. Says, our husbands are scared to talk to you. So it's like, bring
So
them
good.
in. I'll find anything. Let's go. So
That's
yeah,
awesome,
it's good.
man.
So good.
Yeah.
How about you, Mike? When you first saw it, like, you know, I don't know if you guys knew what the storyline was or anything, but like when you watched it, were you like, what, what was your feeling?
Well, I'll tell you this. Yeah, we didn't know the storyline. We just did what we were told to do.
Yeah.
And then every day they had what they were called dailies. They would show you what was filmed the day before, but there was no sound. And because we didn't film any sequence and we only saw what was shot then, you had no idea what the whole story was. You just saw, oh, here's us rolling down the hill, yay, and then we did a turn, yay. Okay, that's it. 5 times of that, right?
Right.
And then so the first time you see the movie in its entirety was in the movie theater. And I had bought I was a sucker. I bought a whole bunch of tickets in my hometown, and I took my dad, my family, and all my friends. I gave them all tickets. So we all went in. We watched the movie for the first time, and I was like, wow, so this is what this is. And I was like, wow, that's what that looks like. Oh, we get done, and my dad turns to me and goes, Mijo,
Good.
hey, how come you crash a lot? He was like, Mijo, how come you crash a lot? I was like, well, it's all part of the movie, Dad. It's all part of the movie. And we all walked out, and a week later it was gone off the marquee.
Oh, wow.
Right?
Quick. Yeah.
It was quick, but it was great to do. It was a good experience. And but just like Eddie, when it showed here in Phoenix, we went down to Phoenix. My good friend Isaac from Big Bike BMX said, hey, we should go down there and watch this. I was like, yeah, it was great. He goes, we should dress in costume. I was like, yeah, it's a good idea. We'll dress in. And I thought it was great. Okay, well, we went down there, and they had sold out both theaters. Both theaters were sold out, and everybody had costumes, rad shirts. It was fantastic. We had the best time. And the same thing, Eddie. Every time, when they named the riders, they were like, "Yeah, Eddie Fiola, yay!"
That is cool.
Mike Miranda, boo!
Come on.
No, it was a great experience. That was a great experience, and thanks to Isaac for inviting me to do that. It was a great night. We had a good time.
Yeah.
And to go there with his family made it even extra special. And like I said to you, Eddie, not a week goes by that it doesn't come up somehow, some way. The fact that I'm in bike shops every day doing my job, it brings up. Nothing cracks me up more than walking into a bike shop and looking up on the big flat screen that's on the wall, and they're playing the movie Rad. I just try to ignore it and sneak past it. That's how
I like going into and seeing the guys that have seen the movie, but they don't know who I am, and they don't know who you are, and they don't know that we're real BMX riders.
Yeah.
They think that the actor did all the stunts, and the actor doesn't claim he did any of the stunts, but there's a lot of people out there that aren't into BMX, but they love the movie.
Yeah.
So,
hey, one of my favorite things to do, I know both these guys know it. One of my favorite things to do is whenever I see someone wearing a Rad shirt, I always walk up, oh, that is so cool. Hey man, can I take a picture with you?
Yeah.
I don't say anything. I just take a picture with them, and then I'll post it and say, if you only knew. And I don't let them in on it. I just.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
Good one.
Yeah.
Good
fun.
one.
Fun to do. It's amazing to me how often it still happens.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
Good.
Well, hey, let me tell you, you stole the show in Rad. You were awesome, and in my opinion, you stole the show at Dirtyfest. And I am a fan. I don't mind saying it. I'm a fan, and I've always been a fan. And more than that, I always felt like we were friends. And
no, 100%.
100%, man. Love it.
Yeah.
Love it. Thank you so much for coming and doing this. I think you're our first. I thought you were 100% freestyle rider, but I learned tonight you're not.
No.
You're
once
a racer, always a racer.
Yeah.
Yeah, but one, racing wise, I went there so that I could use the jumps, and they built jumps, and we didn't have to dig and pack and do all this stuff. There's already a track there, and I just wanted to jump, and that's but now we have to race. In order to ride the track longer, you had to race. So now I started racing, but I started racing in beginner and never really got out of the beginner stage. And once I went expert, or novice or to expert, it was like, no, these guys are serious. And I wasn't serious about racing. I was just riding.
You strap a number plate on once. You strap a number plate on once, you're a racer.
Yeah. Going back to Rad, it was funny is that we had to tell all the racers to, scrub their brakes because I'm not that fast. They had to, all these racers were riding with their brakes on and they're trying to slow down so that I could be in front.
I was going to ask you, Eddie, about, so when you started, where did you start? How did you start? Right. Cause freestyle wasn't even really a thing.
No. Right.
So you were part of literally the inception of it. You helped create it. But before then, were you just dirt lotting and hitting dirt lot jumps around the neighborhood?
We were, watching Evel Knievel. We were putting ramps up against cars, and we were jumping over cars and jumping over trash cans like Fonzie and and all this stuff. So it was that, and then seeing skateboarding on the decline, and seeing a couple pictures in the magazines of like Tinker Juarez, and going, wow, they let bikes into these parks.
Yeah,
I gotta go. So after seeing Tinker in the skate park, and then watching Bob Harrow, or looking at magazines with Bob Harrow doing flatland tricks or kick turn ramps, or clear plexiglass ramps, that got me more involved, and I wanted to go more and higher and do more of the skateboarding style, but on a bike. So that's where it started. Started off Lakewood. Started off at Lakewood. Started off on these. There's a place near my house called Two Walls or Kitty Banks, and it was literally just in bank. I had 45 and a flat, and we'd jump off into the dirt and land, and all day long. That's where we'd spend most of our time.
Yeah, there's so many. So you guys don't know, Eddie and I grew up really close to each other. Actually, really close. So, and there's tons of irrigation and drainage ditches and LA River stuff and embankments and all kinds of stuff like that. So when you're driving through the city and you see those big flood things with the big 45s, and that's the stuff that he's talking about.
Oh yeah.
Yep, that's what we rode. Yeah. And and if you fall on that, that's like 200 grit sandpaper. That's like taking every ounce of skin off of you. So
it's the ultimate traction on the tires and your skin.
Oh, yeah. Your the comp threes wouldn't last that long.
No.
That's
Eddie,
crazy.
as a basically a pioneer, right, of the freestyle thing, and being a part of it as it peaked, that whole, even flatland and everything. Mike and I talked about it before. We were able to see Joe Johnson invent a tail whip. I don't know what the heck he even called it, off the ramp. We saw him. Yeah. We saw him try and do it. He told us what he was trying to do, and then we ended up seeing him do it. He wasn't even over the top of it. It was low, but he did it, and we were like, holy cow. Was there ever something that you saw somebody do it? Maybe they weren't even famous, but they invented a trick and you were like, holy shit, that is amazing. Or
Jose Yanez.
You did. Oh, doing the backflip.
Jose Yanez.
Yeah.
Doing the backflip. When we would ride the jumps and we would over rotate on a jump, and all of a sudden we're rolling down the windows. We're not trying to flip, but it's feasible. And he did it. And once we saw him do it, then now we have to do it, So he upped the game. But what people don't realize is that the very first backflip that he does, it's only like a 2-foot gap. It's not very far, and it's up and it's down. It's fast, and he's got he's got toe clips, the ones that hook the shoes on the outside.
Road style.
And his bars are Chi-Town. His bars are leaning forward.
Right. And not only that is that he'd only pull off like maybe 5 out of 10 tries. I mean, like, so it was a 50-50 chance that he's not going to make it.
It was just
And
like in the
he
movie.
did- And oh yeah, dude. And when he doesn't make it, he really doesn't make it. Like
Yeah, it's a
I
yard
seen
sale.
him.
It's a
not-
train wreck.
I seen him not make it to the head tube on the landing ramp.
Oh,
You know, so like he just lands with the head tube stacking the in. So he rotates but doesn't go anywhere. And then he, you know, in the movie when he over rotates, well, that was on accident. He wasn't supposed to over rotate. It just happened, and they kept it on film and they used it. So
You know, he learned to do it and did it all the time here in Arizona, but into a lake.
yeah.
That's
Right.
all he did. He wasn't used to trying to land it. It was just always into water. It was crazy.
Yeah.
Do you remember seeing it the first time, EC?
I do, man. It was
And
at
he
the
was our
Grand.
teammate.
At the Grands.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he was our Hutch teammate.
It was bananas, dude. Like, I mean, it's crazy.
And the fact he pulled it off, I mean, like Eddie said, we were all fingers crossed, man. And he said the same thing. You know, we were riding around in staging, and we're riding with him, and I go, "Hey, man, you know, like he couldn't do a wheelie."
Yeah, that was the thing that struck me. The thing that struck me was how, like, him riding up to the ramp, you were like, dude, he could barely get to the ramp.
You could do one thing.
He could barely ride to the ramp.
You had one job.
Yeah.
But man, he was so ahead of his time with that trick.
yeah.
I mean,
And
oh,
he, you know, he not only did he do it on a bicycle, he also did it on a motorcycle. And way before, you know, Carey Hart did it, and way before anybody did it on a motorcycle, he did. And there's a documentary that is en route. It has been filmed, and the guy doing it, he just needs money to finish it. So, but
wow.
it's called Out of the Loop, and I've seen some rough cut of it, of all these motocross guys going, yeah, if I didn't see this guy do it, I wouldn't have started. If I didn't see Jose do it, I wouldn't have started. If I didn't see, and these are big name guys that are doing huge ass backflips now, and yeah, so Jose was like the beginning, but nobody had any coverage of him. Nobody's seen him do it.
It's
Decat.
crazy, man.
Yeah.
You know, go ahead, Mike.
I said Decat.
Decat.
Yeah.
Remember,
It's really
remember we showed up and he had the JT leathers, and he had put on Decat
that's right.
himself. He'd sewed it on out of like the sheet from the hotel. Hilarious, man. Yeah.
Eddie,
Oh yeah, they call me Decat.
you know, speaking on the topic of ahead of tricks, ahead of time and stuff like that, like, you know, you guys were in the formation years, like really you guys, and man, it was the boom of the segment of freestyle, I think. I mean, it was just massive, minus X Games and stuff like that. But like, I mean, could you have imagined now, like the stuff that the guys are doing now, when you see guys riding park? I mean, when you watch that, what goes through your mind when you watch that?
I see Winter Olympics, the guys going off the snow jumps and doing flips and spins and twists and things, and going, okay, they're landing on snow.
Yeah.
And now they're doing it on cement, and they're doing it on bikes, and they're landing it. And I'm going, it's a video game. They literally took, when we started, we didn't have a foam pit, we didn't have a resi mat, we didn't get to practice at a Woodward facility. We tried things that we thought were dangerous enough that we're not going to die, but we're still having fun doing it. And then the next level guys that were, you know, that had a ramp in a warehouse that and he wore all this safety gear, and we didn't do that. We didn't think of, preserving ourselves to go further in the sport. So when Matt Hoffman came in and just started doing these mega airs and wearing this full hardcore safety gear, chest protector, full face helmet, and all this, was like he stepped it up the next level. And so seeing these guys, there's always going to be one guy better in every sport. It's the next level, the next level, the next level.
Sure.
The Ricky Johnson, Jeremy McGrath, Bubba Stewart, they all up the level. And now these guys are, just ripping on the motorcycles, on the bicycles. Everybody jumped. Everyone was jumping and racing and jumping. And then the Europeans came in and stayed low and pumped the track. And all of a sudden, you guys, the US started going, well, they're landing and they're still going and they're faster. So you guys started doing it. And now it's a race. You're not jumping. You're not going for style. There is no more Harry Leary lookbacks and in the middle of the race, and Todd Lyons doing a backflip. That was like, that doesn't happen anymore. I mean, in the Olympics, it's not going to happen. You're going to win unless you're so far ahead. That's the only way somebody's going to do a backflip in the middle of a. But now the BMX is in the Olympics, which is another great thing, because when they put something in the Olympics, it's something that they can do around the world. I keep watching this guy in Africa on a bike in these sandals on dirt doing freestyle tricks. They're doing it everywhere. So
that's cool.
Yeah. So to see
go
ahead.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Just to see these guys that you wouldn't think a third world country would do BMX freestyle or BMX racing or anything bicycle related is now in the Olympics, and they've got competitors and they're doing really great.
That's wild, man.
I just want to say one more thing. From a guy who used to stand at the fence and hold on and watch you. In the 70s, we had a friend, Jake Hoggins. His pool didn't have any water in it. And our big thing was to go up, and if you had huge, gigantic balls, you would go up and over the light.
Yeah.
And then we saw pictures of Tinker Juarez getting up above the edge of the thing.
The coping.
The coping. Well, and in the skate park, there was no coping. It was just out of the cement. And then seeing Stu Thompson 2 or 3 feet out with no visor on his helmet, looking like a dork, but he was rad.
Yeah.
And then I'm hanging onto the fence, and I see Eddie Fiola come flying out, jumping out as high as you can, coming down, landing on one foot on the fence where I'm holding on, and then jumping off and going back down into the bowl, disappearing into the bowl. Dude, you talk about the progress. I'm so blessed I got to witness that. And to see you where you say Matt Hoffman took it to the next level, dude. To me, you were one of the first ones that took it to the big level.
Yeah.
So it is an honor and a privilege
to
have you on here, man. You're such a superstar. You're so humble, and you're still such a great writer and great performer.
Well, thank you.
Love having you on here, man.
Good. Well, hey, is it anytime?
All right. Well, Eddie, dude, thank you so much for being on here. Dude,
well, I thank everybody that is on here. Eric, you grew up where I did, and you grew up in BMX, and I saw you at Orange, and you've come so far, and you've done so much for the sport that it's great that you're so involved with it. And when I see your kids at the pump track riding, I see you. I mean, like, it's you riding the pump track, and it's so cool.
Yeah, man, it is pretty wild to watch them ride. They actually, from years of following each other and them following me, they actually do ride very, very similar in my style, almost identical. It's pretty crazy. But yeah, it's pretty wild, right? Like growing up in the the neighborhoods that we grew up in and the things that, I mean, dude, we just grew up in the suburbs, man, in the middle of the city, dude. And to be able to like, I feel blessed. I'm sure, I know you feel the same way. Like, dude, I
Yep.
feel like I'm the luckiest guy in the world that I was able to be gifted with a skill set. And then
Right.
to what you said, to be around people that supported your skill set and your gift. And then we made smart enough decisions to be with the right people, the right companies, and stayed injury free for the most part and kept extending the career.
Yeah.
But dude, like, guys growing up in Lakewood and Bellflower, like we did, dude, it's just kind of, I think back on it and I'm just like, there's no way like this. I'm not supposed to be here. This is so crazy. So,
I didn't think we'd make it this far. I mean, like I'm 60, right?
Right. Still going.
Yeah.
I know it's bananas, dude. We're blessed. And I think, everything that I have in my life, and I think you're in the same boat, man. Everything that I have in my life that's good has come out of two wheels.
Yep.
Literally, man. Like, and, so when I think about that, man, I actually get emotional thinking about it because it means so much. Dude, we're just lucky. We're lucky and blessed. And, I'm grateful for it every day.
Yep. Nope. I hear you 100%. And I get, it's funny is that when we were doing the documentary and the guys are filming and they're asking me about my bike and how I started and what was my big, my foot in the door, my chance. And I told the story of, I was riding my bike every day at the skate park. And then the one day I don't ride my bike, I walk to the skate park and I'm hanging out and Bob Osborne shows up and he's taking photos of Timmy Judge. And Timmy Judge has never, ever been in Lakewood Skate Park that I know of. And all of a sudden they're at my park that I ride every single day. And I have to leave because I have to go get my bike. So I tell my girlfriend, I'm leaving. I got to run. I got to go. And I ask Bob Osborne, I'm going, how long are you going to be here? Will you be here will you take a photo of me? And he's looking at me like I'm some, grommet kid, which I was. I'm nobody. When you look at the magazine, everybody's got a helmet on. They got sponsors. They got a jersey. They look, Redline, Hutch, Mongoose, and all these things. And I run home 5 miles, 5 miles.
Yeah.
It wasn't 5 miles when I ran home because I did, the Ferris Bueller's Day Off through the backyard, jumping over the cameras, passing people up, going through the house, whatever it took. But I got home, came back, and literally as I come back, Bob has his camera bag on his arm and he's walking through the doors and I stop him. I'm going, can you just watch just one time? Please just watch. And he says, okay, let me see what you got. And he turns around and I go into the freestyle area and roll around the skate park and I do a couple big jumps. And I in the jump into like almost a 540 and I roll up and I do this 540 and I land and I'm able to look back at where he's at and I can see him take his bag down and pull his cameras back out. And I talked to him years later and he said, we changed history. We changed history that moment.
Dude.
That moment that I took my bag off and I saw you ride.
It's gnarly.
Changed
it.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Oh, man.
The gnarliest goosebumps right now.
Wow.
Dang.
But he's so right. Eddie, think about this, man. Like, yeah, would there have been other riders? Yes, skate park. Eventually it would have happened, right? But you know what? Like, it wasn't somebody else. It was you. And
right.
I believe that things happen for a reason, and I think there's divine intervention that happens, and I think that was supposed to happen, man, because you were the person that needed to be that guy at that time.
Right. Right place, right time,
yeah.
right people.
Yeah.
Amen.
Right?
Amen.
you needed to be the king of skate parks. You needed to be the guy,
Yeah.
Yeah.
not somebody else, because
Yeah.
all of the things that you bring to it, the entertainer, the skills, the professionalism,
Right.
and the passion.
Yeah. Yeah.
Clearly
Well,
still have.
I have guys talking to me that, there are some haters that don't like me because I was in the right place and doing the right thing and be in the right place at the right time. And they're going, well, hey, I grew up at, Paramount, and I rode Paramount all the time, and I won shows, and I did this, and you had every chance I had.
Dude.
You just weren't at the right place at the right time. You had every chance I had. I wasn't better than they were. They weren't in the right place. And then I got better, and there was,
I mean, think about this though. I mean, I get the right place at the right time. I don't disagree with that, because that's how a lot of almost everything works out, and maybe it does here. But you ran home. You actually talked to Bob and said, "Don't go anywhere. I'm going to come back." And you went miles to go get your bike.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it wasn't like you could have said, "Oh, maybe I'll catch him next time," or "Hopefully I'll be riding when he comes back." I mean, you made it happen.
It is Miles, and it is, by the way, it is Miles.
Yeah.
Right.
He's not stretching that, dude.
Yeah. Artesia and Palo Verde all the way to Lakewood and Candlewood. Yeah. It's not close.
Not a short distance, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's bonkers, man. Like stories like that. Like, imagine Timmy gets a flat tire and they're done early.
Yeah, right.
I mean,
it could have happened.
So many things, right? It's divine intervention, man. It was supposed to happen, dude.
Yep.
It was supposed to be.
Yep.
That's how I look at stuff. It's the only explanation for me.
Right, and it's also, I think, I like to say karma. I try to do the right things. I try to be the right guy. I try to not be the jerk. And you never know who you're going to talk to or who you're going to meet and what they're thinking. And I always go back to this one Andy Jenkins story that I've heard, that Andy one time went up to Greg Hill when he was a kid, but a still pro racer, and Andy Jenkins was just this young kid and was asking for an autograph, and Greg Hill says, get out of my face. I don't do autographs and stuff like that. And now Andy Jenkins is working for the magazine and now is editor of the magazine. And you're, Greg Hill, that is supposed to be in the magazine. And, you don't know who you know. You don't know who you meet, and you don't know what you're going to, be nice. Just be nice.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's why we've always been attracted as friends, because you fit in with us. That's who we are, man. We're just about giving back to the world and making the world a better place.
Yeah.
That's what we do. We're just good eggs.
Believe it or not.
I know.
It's
Can't
been
believe
fun.
it. Yeah.
I can't believe it. It's been fun. It's been fun. We, again, nearly everybody we've had on here, we've really enjoyed.
Good.
Not everybody.
No. Yeah. There's a couple of guys.
That's a different episode.
There's a couple of guys that pretend to be racers that have been on our show.
Hey, I tried.
You did try. That was an episode, boy. God.
Oh man. Well,
one of our first.
Again, one of our first.
It's been fun. It's been a fun ride. The podcast has been fun, Eddie, and talking about there's a lot of history, a lot of things that our listeners don't know, and they never would know.
Right.
Like a story about a guy running home from a skate park so he could get his first shot. Like nobody knows that story, dude.
Yeah.
These are his. We were talking about this.
How that changed the world,
dude. The world.
That changed.
Freestyle went global
Amazing.
Massive, dude. Look at all the old videotapes on YouTube or all the clips of you on YouTube of you performing all over the world, dude, and people losing their freaking minds.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
And,
No,
and
and worldwide. Right. I
dude,
mean, like, people don't, there are not people today that did what we did back then. Like, they don't go on world tours. They don't go to bike shops and do shows at every bike shop that sold the bikes.
no,
It just doesn't happen anymore.
the market can't bear it anymore. But it did then because you guys blew up so big.
Right.
The shops were selling so many bikes and the companies were making so much money that the market bared you guys being able to get paid a salary and to fund a world tour.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And when we showed up at Rockville, Maryland,
Yeah.
man, the space that we had was like three basketball courts long and 2 basketball courts wide, and it must have been at least 5 people deep, 5 to 10 people deep, all around the whole parking lot, and it was huge. And it would be, when they did this show, they would make sure that not only one team, not only the GT team was there, but the Hutch team, the Redline team, every team showed up on this one day, and it was a fan fiasco, and it was funny as, I talked to people now that, it was like, oh, I was an Eddie fan, I was a GT fan, oh, I was a Mike Dominguez fan, I was, Hutch fan, and oh, you guys, this was my hero. I used to dress up like Eddie and do this type of style, and I dressed up like Mike and I did this type of style, and it was weird and odd hearing somebody saying that they dressed up like me to ride like me to, and I see photos of all the time of guys, in the same type of pose that I would in the magazine, and I hear their stories of how they, saw their very first freestyle show. And a funny story is that the guy that did my book, that asked me questions, that wrote the book, he was literally at one of these shows. And
Wow.
I was throwing grips out, and he still has that grip today. That he only got one grip out of the 2, but he still has it. And he writes books and he does things, and he says that he, before his life ends, he wanted to do a book on me of what he believed was his best years of his life, that was BMX.
Dude,
So
think, I mean, like, I like to think about stuff like that, right? Like I get all deep and I start processing and thinking about the steps and like all of the layers, all of the things that had to happen for you to have that interaction with that guy, and then for it to come full circle and for him to help you write the book, and like the impact you had on that guy's life, dude, you changed his life.
Yeah.
For the better.
Right.
It's amazing, right? Like, and for me, like, I've had similar experiences with people that have seen me race and fans and things like that, man. And dude, it is so fulfilling to know that you helped somebody have a better experience or feel better about themselves because of 2 wheels and something that you did or an interaction that you did. I mean, like, I will say, and Mike hates when I say this, but Mike was my hero when I was growing up, and I had that interaction with him, man. I was just a normal expert kid and barely a main maker, but I got his number plate at the BMX National in Lancaster, and he was nice enough. We stayed at the same hotel. We were in jacuzzi, and after the race, I got his plate, man, and it made the difference in me. And it helped me. I molded myself around how Mike carried himself around people. I molded myself to be like Mike. And
Eddie, I didn't have any pants on in the jacuzzi. Just want to keep it on the even keel here.
And you know what was cool, man? Like, probably, I don't know what, Mike, 5-6 years ago, I was able to give him back the plate.
Yeah.
Wow.
I still had it.
Wow.
Yep.
So, but
That's
it's
cool.
just
Well,
it's a really cool thing, man, to like, it's fulfilling if you allow yourself to think about the impact that you had, Eddie, on so many people globally, people that there's people you're never going to meet that you
right.
changed their life, man. And it's so
Yep.
dang cool.
Well, that's what's really cool about, Facebook and Instagram and things like that, is that, I have a guy now, his name is Lawrence, and his daughter is Hannah, and he was into BMX, and he saw one of the shows at one time, and he just decided, hey, I'm gonna message Eddie and see if he'll reply. And I said, hey, what's going on? What kind of bike did you ride back then? And what show did you see? And what type of tricks were you doing? And he says, yeah, well, I've got into this and I got into this, and now I'm building a bike, and now my daughter's helping to build it. I'm going, cool. Tell Hannah I said hi. And now she's freaking out that I said hi to her. And it's yeah, it's just, the people, you don't realize how many people were into BMX, and it's
Yeah.
the magazine made it worldwide and made it to where you studied the magazine, you looked at the magazine, you put the magazine on your wall. Kids today, they have their phone, and I got a photo, but that's the only time you see it.
Yeah.
If you remember, you have it. So
It was different. It was a different time. We were lucky that we grew up at that time, and we were lucky we had BMX Action and Plus, and guys like Oz that
yeah,
really created this iconic movement of our sport and made heroes out of the riders. And
right.
we're lucky. We're so blessed.
Yeah.
I love it.
Just before we had you on, Eddie, we had a kid on named Danny Redmags from Dirtyfest.
Okay.
15-year-old kid doesn't know Eric Carter, Mike Miranda, James Vicente. He knows the name of maybe 3 or 4 riders, and that's it.
That's it.
But
Right.
just found it, just fell into it, and absolutely loves it, man. Absolutely loves it.
Well, and that's weird, is that, like, he loves the sport because of the sport itself, not necessarily of the riders. But when we grew up and we had the magazines, we knew, Stu Thompson, Greg
That's
Hill,
right.
Scott Clark, Perry Kramer. We knew all these names, and we knew that in the magazines, that these are the best guys that they're out there. So, and we read these magazines front and back to front, inside out, upside down, tore them off, put them on our wall, bought another magazine just so we could have an extra.
Exactly. One to cut up.
Yeah.
One to cut up and put on the outside of your cassette tapes in your peachy folder, and the other one to read.
Yeah.
Dude, tell me it wasn't the thing, man. That's what
Yeah.
you did.
That's
So good. What a
well, I
treat.
can't wait till Dirtyfest comes.
Yeah,
So,
I'm excited. It's gonna be
Yep.
it's
Yeah.
gonna be bigger and better, Eddie. There's gonna be like I don't deal on this side, but I can tell you from talking with Mike, the interest is it's out of control right now already, and we're 7 months out.
Yeah,
8
we're
Right.
months out.
still got a ways to go.
I mean, it really, this year is it's gonna be pretty bananas, like how big it is, and the little things that we've done to enhance the experience.
right.
It's really gonna be a fantastic weekend.
And some
Yeah,
big things.
And some big things.
And some big things.
So far, everything looks great.
Yeah, we get better. Our goal is to continually get better every year, even if it's a
Yeah.
small
Yeah.
amount. We want to continue to improve every year, and if we can improve every year, then we feel like we've achieved. We're growing, if you will.
Right.
Dude,
Well,
I just put the track, man. These guys run the event. If I'm being honest, I just drive tractors and push dirt around. These guys are the
not
organizers.
true. Not true.
Yeah, that's not true. And the track is the biggest part of the thing.
Oh, it's a good weekend.
We all
man.
there's 4 of us. Justin Shepard's also with us.
Yes.
And the 4 of us all have different talents and different skill sets and different areas of expertise, and it takes the whole year for us to pull it off.
It does.
And we work all year long. All 4 of us. it's not you build a track the week before.
No,
EC's
we're
working on
we're
it
working
all
on the
year
track. Yeah, I work on the track. I'm working on the track right now, Eddie.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I mean, it's it's like Mike said, it's a process that takes we take it serious. I mean, dude, we meet a couple weeks after the Dirtyfest happens. We meet a couple weeks after and just
We start making
download
major changes
everything.
right then and there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What
Major
didn't work?
additions.
What
That's
didn't
Yeah.
work? What did work? How can we make it better? Yeah,
Yeah.
those are great. That's great.
Do we need to buy Eddie a full face? Yeah, all
I was
kinds
gonna say first aid station over by the freestyle.
I was thinking mattresses on both sides of the ramp.
Oh, it was that was a good night though, man. That was a good addition, and we're excited about it. It's only going to get bigger and better, man. It's a great compliment to a great weekend. So
Well, I'm glad you have us had the freestyle guys there, and everybody was, they had a good time with all the vendors and mainly the alcohol vendors. And
It is a party.
so it's fantastic, man, and it's just it's a fun weekend. It's a hectic, stressful weekend for the four of us, but man, we really love it because we feel like it's giving so much back to the sport, and
right.
the feedback we get from people coming from all over the world to go do this now, it's bonkers.
Eddie, thank you. Hey, appreciate you coming on. I think for most of us, big, longtime fan, and really to have you on here is a big deal for us. So thank you for taking the time and doing that. Appreciate it.
No problem.
Yeah, much
happy you're coming to Dirtyfest, and can't wait to see you there. And you all always been supporting us, and even when we're at Frogtown, we're neighbors on the 10th, so
right,
we do enjoy it. Yeah. So thank you very much for coming on and being a part of the family.
You got it.
Yes.
All right, we'll talk to you guys.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that one, you bunch of dirty knobs.
Hey, this is John Cruz. No, we're not having an earthquake. I have Parkinson's. What do you think of that, Michael?
We ought to pitch in and get you a gimbal.
That would be nice. But seriously, this is John Cruz, and I obviously have something going on, and I was diagnosed with Parkinson's 20 years ago this year, actually. So I've chosen the Davis Finney Foundation over the years to be my voice for Parkinson's. If you're not familiar with the Davis Finney Foundation, Davis Finney is one of the winningest cyclists in American history. He's the roadie, if you guys remember those roadies out there, all that Lycra and stuff. But he is just a great man. When he was diagnosed with Parkinson's, he decided to make a difference in people's lives. And his choice was to start a foundation. And that foundation obviously wishes for a cure for Parkinson's, because there is no cure at this time. But they recognize that you have to live with Parkinson's, and your caregivers are having to live and take care of us. And the Davis Finney Foundation, that's what they do, is they only look for a cure, but they look for ways to enhance the quality of life for Parkinson's sufferers and their caregivers. So I appreciate all of you supporting the Davis Finney Foundation. It certainly means a lot to me. I know we all have something, right? So I think it's important to give back to our communities, whether it's BMX or a foundation that's close to your heart. If you don't have one, please choose mine. I appreciate you.
Well, thank you, John Cruz. You certainly have made a difference in a lot of lives, including mine, and giving us the opportunity to do something good for somebody else is fantastic. So thank you so much. And on behalf of John Cruz, please find a way to give something to the Davis Finney Foundation on behalf of John Cruz, the Dirty Knobs, and your entire BMX family. Thank you very much.
Our mission is to grow the sport at the local level. We've reached out to TOs across the country to say, what is your need to better reach new riders, both young and old? And we've put a financial number to that to make it easier for sponsors and donors to jump in and say, I got this one. You can check out our website, bmxbreakthrough.com. Reach out to me directly, j@bmxbreakthrough.com. We've got our social media at BMX Breakthrough. We've got the podcast as well. Thank you so much for your support, and let's get more kids and adults on bikes.
Okay, so we're ready for this. So we're gonna go 1, 2, 3, record. Hey guys, this is Bill Ryan. I'm the owner of Supercross, and I'm now the caretaker of Torker. Now, Torker, you might see right above the shoulder here of this dirty knob, Mike Miranda. He's got a Torker jersey. He's a Torker alumni. We've been working for 9 years to bring Torker back to its original foundation, to its original roots, to its original twin top tube radness. A bunch of really cool restoration, remake, new versions of what you remember from your childhood that you actually get to ride. If you're in the UK, Alan's BMX, what a fun project. 9 years of my life has been dedicated into this to try and bring more fun to everybody out there. You need to ride a Torker. For more information, you just go to torkerracing.com or follow us on Torker Racing on Instagram. Boom, you're going to get to see all the inside stuff.
And then sing it out right now.
All right, coming live and direct from the Colt Clubhouse in Santa Ana, California. Come on down and get all your BMX needs. We're giving away free air for your tires. That's all I got, brother.
That's great. That's great. All right. Now.
It's perfect.
Perfect.
Velocity Bike Park is the premier bike park for riders in Southern California, with 25 miles of world-class trails, obstacles, flow track, and races for mountain biking, gravel, and BMX.
Ultramax, when you get home from the races, do you feel dirty? I mean, is your bike dirty? Really dirty? I know you're dirty. Well, that's when you need the Ultramax sponge, guaranteed to get all your hard to reach places clean. I know, because Hollywood is always dirty. Not available where reading glasses and bobbleheads are sold, but you can still get an Ultramax t-shirt at dirtyknobs.com.
B-Side Bikes, the very best in original vintage BMX and motocross parts. With many parts to choose from, we are consistently selling and buying. Hit us up for your special requests. Chances are we can find it. Since 2015 and family ran B-Side Bikes. The passion never fades at B-Side Bikes. It just continues. B-Side Bikes.
ODI Grips, the world leader in grip technology, home of the lock-on grip system. Check them out over at www.odigrips.com. "4416 Designs" commercial. Take one.
There you go. All right, 4416 Designs. We make shirts, but we don't sell them. We're just giving back to the sport. If you're out at Ukaipa BMX and you need a shirt, hit me up. I'll hook you up with one.
Yeah, I love that.
Guys, you're watching the Dirty Knob Podcast with Mike Miranda, Eric Carter, James Vicente. What the heck? Are you enjoying the show? Well, hey, take a minute. Stop. Pause. Go to your computer. TorkerRacing.com. You know what you want to do. TorkerRacing.com. Check it out. You're going to check out the new Pro X frames. You're going to check out the EK frames. You're going to check out the Barbarians. You're going to see the new Torker shirts. You're going to see the pads. You're going to see all the new stuff. Go to TorkerRacing.com.
Mega Design Group is a full-service marketing firm. They handle everything from logos to advertising to packaging. Having over 25 years experience in the print and marketing fields, they can handle any hurdle. Check it out at megadesigngroup.com. Cool Stop brake pads. High performance bicycle brake pads since 1977. Check them out at coolstop.com. That's KOOLSTOP.com.
You dirty knobs! You've been watching the Dirty Knob Podcast with Mike Miranda, Eric Carter, and James Vicente. Guess what? Now, I'm Bill Ryan. This is Supercross BMX. You need to click on the supercrossbmx.com. Come on over. Buy stuff. We need to sell stuff so we can keep in business, so we can keep supporting the show. Come on. Do it.
Hey everyone, this is Brian Wilson with ProGate. We are the official gate supplier for UCI and the Olympics. We even make a gate that you can practice on in your driveway at home.
Wait a minute, who else are you making a gate for?
We're making a gate for Dirtyfest. You guys got to come and check it out. Whatever Dirtyfest needs for this track, we're going to supply it. We're not some French knockoff, you know. We're the gold standard in BMX gates. And make sure to check us out at progate.net and bmxtracksupply.com, and we'll see you at Dirtyfest for sure. Take care, everybody.
Hey, folks, this is Mike Rodriguez, aka Mr. Crit. I've been racing and making number plates since 1980. You know, like when they used to do one pedal starts. But you know, Crit Plate has been around for 43 years. The last 4 decades, the who's who of BMX have raced a Crit number plate straight to the handlebars. And you know, you get that guy Mike Savage, the international man of BMX, still doing it strong. And you know, back in the day, the plates used to be reversible because there was multiple sanctions, and you could put, you know, one sanction on one side, one on the other. Now you just got one. But Crit is still reversible, and that logo is still on the back for guys like Mike and you rad guys, you know, like Mike Miranda, who would turn those handlebars and twist them up. And we got it rad just for you.
All right. Hey, where will we see those plates?
Those plates you can see at every single bike shop that stocks BMX stuff in the USA and Canada.
And where will you be at? Will you be at an event sometime soon?
Damn, I'm sponsoring the Dirtyfest, and I can't wait to come out to Southern California and get dirty.
Amy grips, still made here in the USA. Used by world champions like me, Tommy Brackens. If you want to know more about the best grips on earth, go to amy.com.
All right, Mark, you ready?
Yeah.
Hey guys, how's it going? This is Dino Bartoli from ABSA Pro.
And I'm Mark Darcy from ABSA Pro.
Together, we are bringing you the ABSA Pro Bike Show Association. Our mission is to bring together a bike show community across the United States. We have these bike shows. We're going to run them all the same with consistent rules and a detailed, organized judging format. We wanted to make an organization so that you guys can get points. So there's a point system, a code of conduct, rules and regulations. We have a membership that's specifically old school bike shows. You want to get on board all that hard work and dedication that you put into your bikes. You want to show it off. You want to have it justified, all that hard work you've done. You want to bring it out to our shows. You want to join our memberships, get associated with us.
Actually, our awards are phenomenal awards. We have best of show trophies. We have 17 classes. There's 3 trophies per class. And we even hand out super clean awards to some of the other participants that are there. So come check it out. Come bring your bikes, enjoy the shows, and enjoy what we're doing with the bike show community.
Don't forget to sign up.
Our website has all our judging critiques on it, how we judge, what we judge, our 50-point scale with quarter points. We take it down to the nitty-gritty to make sure the best of the bike wins.
Dino, where do we go to find out that information?
You go to absapro.com. That's absapro.com.
Let me say that again, absapro.com.
Ready?
And that's going in.
Yeah. We need a doing.
What's your nickname for like Mike. Do you have a?
No.
You don't have?
I don't really have a nickname. It's Mike.
Oh,
just Mike on the mic.
That's,
She got one.
That's getting edited.
Yeah.
We're putting that in.
Hi, I'm Mike Miller, author of Day One by Michael Miller. And a special offer going out. Anybody who buys the book between now and Dirtyfest, which is April 28th through 30th, I'm going to take all the money from the book and send it to the Davis Finney Foundation for those with Parkinson's. So get your copy on Amazon.com and we'll make a donation.
Hey, what was the name of that book again?
Day One by Michael Miller, which is me.
I'm sorry. Hey, what was that name again?
Day One by Michael Miller.
Hey, support the podcasts that support us, our friends. The fine folks over there at All Things BMX, which is our favorite Wednesday night live podcast, as you know. Our buddies over there at Beer Budget BMX, Big Bike BMX, and BMX Weekly. Check them out. Check them out. Our friends.
What's up, everybody? It's your friend Isaac from Big Bike BMX, and I've got a podcast with my best friend, 80s BMX Craig.
Yep. And guess what, you guys? If you have enjoyed your time here on the Dirty Knobs podcast, we'd love for you guys to come over and hang out with us at Big Bike BMX, where we've got all your old school legends and BMX from the past and today at Big Bike BMX. Isaac,
come check us out. We'd love the opportunity to win you over. And if not, hey, it's just another place to talk about BMX with your grimy friends. It's fun.
Hey, Dale Holmes, I want to tell you something. One of my favorite podcasts that I never miss is BMX Weekly. Even though it has an accent, I still love it.
Cheers, Mike. You can get all the podcasts on bmxweekly.com. Old school, mid school, today's school. Check it out.
Yeah, BMX Weekly.
Hey, here we go. Hey, Beer Budget BMX, baby. Coming at you live from the Beer Budget studios over here at the Hack Shack Quarantine. Oh, man, we're coming in hotter than Satan's nutsack. Yeah, we are dirtier than an Alabama strip club where reclass pros go and get lap dances by their half-sister. Yeah, the only show that'll make you second-guess your life choices like a Amish on an e-bike.
Hey, if you guys enjoy what you just listened to, make sure you tune in every Wednesday night to the All Things BMX show, the only live streaming podcast show in the game right now. Even ask Mike. He's been on. Vicente's been on. Still waiting for that other guy to come on the show. You can find us on YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook. And you can also find us at allthingsbmxshow.com.
Keep it dirty. Hey, EC, your whole one side is dark.
I know. I'm only side lit, bro. We're trying to be artsy here, bro. Come on, man.
Side lit.
No, I'm. Yeah, hold on. Let's see.
You're more like you're backlit.
Oh, look at that. Boom.
Dude, you're lit. There you go.
See, I got lights on both sides, bro. I'm trying to get pro.
You got to show them how pretty you are.
Right here. Oh, yeah. That's what it is. Scruffy is more like it.
That was my lead out. That was
perfect.
Perfect. Dude, he's the only one. He's the only one that you can tell you're in show business, dude, because nobody else does that. Nobody does the goodbye and it's like, all right.
Okay, yeah. All right.
Well, I try to do some lead outs with somebody that doesn't know it with the camera, right? I'm going, okay, we're gonna film here. Just stay here. And I go, okay, I do this and this and this, and then I walk out of frame, and they follow me.
I said, no. Yeah. All right, here we go.